Hi and welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section, please, and like and share the video as well. Going to be talking AEW Fyter Fest. Going to give you the cards for both night 1 and 2. Going to give my predictions for you in this particular video. You can see the solid match card we've got here. We've got night 1 showing for you, and you should have night 2 showing for you as well. So plenty of great action to look through. I'm going to start with night 1 and give my first prediction of the show. Going to be giving you Jurassic Express against MJF and Wardlow. These have been going back and forth. We've sort of had a program going on for a little while before Double or Nothing. We had MJF, of course, against Jungle Boy. It's going to be interesting to see in the tag team environment here because Wardlow is not undefeated in AEW, but it's been booked quite strongly of recent. MJF, of course, has not lost in a singles match, but has lost in a tag team environment before. It would be nice to see Jungle Express get the victory here, because I think that they could do with the momentum more. But for the reasons that I say, MJF just seems to be on an unstoppable roll at the minute. He's not lost for such a long time. I can't look past MJF and Wardlow, so they're going to be my victors for this one, just purely because of the fact that I just can't see MJF losing at this particular moment. But, as I say, I think Jurassic Express could use the victory more and would be rooting for them in this match. We're going to go for a party next, but not just any party, a private party. Could even be a Hardy party, because Matt Hardy will be in the corner of private party as they take on the Inner Circles, Santana and Ortiz. It's going to be interesting here, tag team environment. I wonder if it would have been a 6-man had Sammy been available for this, but we won't talk about that in this particular video. We'll talk about the match that we do have at hand here. Santana and Ortiz, for me, I have to say, I'm very sad to say, are not been booked strong enough for my liking in AEW. Yes, they are part of the Inner Circle. Yes, they are part of, a main event sort of area from time to time, but they're not winning matches. And for me, they are one of the best tag teams in the world here. And I want to see them get the victory over Private Party. But where I've gone for the heels in the first tag team match of the evening, I'm going to go for the faces in the second one, because this Hardy party has been sort of put together recently, and Private Party as well. They could do with a victory as well. They're kind of like the team that needs it more. Santana Ortiz, there probably is no more harm if they lose here. I think they should win, but I think the Private Party will win. So I'm going to go for Private Party as a prediction here. Looking on for the next match on night 1, we're going to the AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida going to be taking on Penelope Ford, who I'm sure will have Kip Sabian in her corner. I'm so pleased to see Penelope Ford get some TV time. There's a lot of hype about her when I first looked with AEW. I believe the All In show that was done couple of years ago, and there was a lot of hype with her at the time, and I've not really seen so much really going into Dynamite until very recent. It's been quite nice to see she's been getting some wins under her belt, some good performances as well. It's nice to see, you could argue, a well-deserved Women's Championship shot here, but I don't see her picking up the victory. Shida's not long been the Women's Champion. She's been an absolute roll this 2020. She's had an amazing year. She's got so over as well with the AEW fan base. I can't see anything but a victory and a long title reign for her. So Shida, for me, has to go over in this, and I believe she will, Shida, to retain the championship. Speaking of championships, we've got 2 more championships on night 1, and we're going to start with the TNT Championship. Cody, the inaugural champion, going to be taking on Jake Hager. I like what they've done here with these two. I like the press conference they had last week with, obviously, Jake Hager's missus throwing water in the face on Cody. Also, the disrespect to not even turn up to the press conference on time when you're Cody's full entourage there as well. I felt it added to the match. It added something, a layer in there that made me want to see it. I kind of feel that this is going to be built very well. I mean, we can argue as someone that's been following WWE for many years that this probably would not have been booked as a strong match under their brand. I think it's going to be taken totally different under this brand of AEW, and we're going to see a match here what's worthy of these two, and for that I'm looking forward to it. I do believe that Cody will go over. Jake Hager is going to be a tough opposition, going to be a tough competitor, but I don't see him picking up the W. Cody is going to make this championship mean something. We're going to have this hopefully every week after Fyter Fest, where he's going to be defending the championship and get some surprises along the way. We've already got Ricky Starks coming in and part of the company, which I think he's great and can be destined for big things as well within AEW. I enjoyed his NWA run, so I think he's going to have a good run here in AEW. But I do think Cody, though, looking at this match, will be the victor and will continue on as TNT Champion. Last but not least, for night 1, we've got the Tag Team Championships, and Kenny Omega and Hangman Page going to be taking on the best friends. That's right, Trent and Chuck Taylor. I'm really looking forward to this. I do feel there could be an interesting element if we do have Orange Cassidy in the corner here, because Chris Jericho is going to be on commentary. So if Penelope, if you are in the audience watching on and watch out, you're probably going to get called out by Jericho once again. But that's been very entertaining during lockdown, I must admit. But it'll be interesting to see if there would be any altercations with Jericho and Cassidy amongst everything else that's going on. But I love the way it's been put together as well. We've got the best wrestlers against the best friends, and people actually question if Omega and Page are on the same page, because a lot of people believe they are not. And I believe they are not either, and it seems like it's just a matter of time before these two are in a singles program against each other. The question is the turn going to happen if they lose the titles, or after they lose the titles, or during the title match itself? And the question is going to be, is this the night? For me, it can happen on a random episode of Dynamite. It always makes sense to do that. But for me, I'd like to see the big spot happen here. I'd love to see the turn here. And the question is, a lot of people assume that Page will be the one to turn on Kenny Omega. I'd love it to be the other way around. I think Kenny Omega is lacking some edge at the minute. Hangman seems to be perfect just the way he is, and people are loving him for how he is. He's almost like a Steve Austin kind of character back in the day, and doesn't need to go full on heel, because I'm not sure how well it will connect. I don't think fans will boo Hangman at this stage. So it would possibly make more sense for Kenny Omega, for me, to go to the full-on heel turn, because for me he feels quite bland at the moment, and that's just a personal opinion. But I do think when it happens it will be Page that will turn on Omega, but I just want to throw the theory out there. I'd love it to be the other way around. I want the best friends to win here. I think they deserve being rewarded. They were there all the way through lockdown in QT Marshall's gym. They were getting victory after victory and getting over. And sometimes it's just nice to see that reward. And apparently they've never had a tag team championship run in any company. And it's almost built as like the main event for night one. How good would it be for the best friends to pick up the victory here? I know it's the underdog story. I know it's probably unlikely. But I'm going to go for Hangman Page, to turn on Kenny Omega. And I'm going to go for the best friends to become the new AEW Tag Team Champions. And the reason as well I think this needs to happen as well as should happen is because, or is a prediction to happen, is because I think the tag teams in AEW need to become dominant. It's not a good look when you want to build a tag team division and you've got so many great teams. You've got two single stars right now together as the tag team champions. For me, I always feel that weakens a division. It's just a personal opinion. I'm sure a lot would disagree, but it would be great to see the best friends have it and have then the matches with tag teams like Jurassic Express that we talked about, Private Party, Santana, Ortiz. What about we go when there's week 2? We've got FTR, we've got the Young Bucks, we've got the Lucha Bros in there as well. There's so many great tag teams amongst AEW, and I think that they should be the ones carrying that division and carrying the gold. So for me, the belts must change hands here. Best friends for me are my prediction, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but I hope I'm right. Let's talk night 2, Wednesday, July 8th of AEW's Fyter Fest. 6 matches to go through, and I think I'm going to have a couple of squash matches here. We're going to start with the first squash match that I think we should talk about. Lance Archer going to be taking on Joey Janela. Well, Lance Archer just attacked Joey Janela at the end of the tag team match last week with Dynamite. With I think Joey Janela was with Sonya Kiss, and again they were taking on the Dark Order. Lance Archer come and tore the house down, or just tore Janela apart after that match. I think he's going to do the same here in a one-on-one encounter. I can't see it going any other way. Archer needs to be built up again now after that loss to Cody. He's took a little bit of a break from TV. Probably not a bad move. He can come back in now as the monster he was before. The Murder Hawk can reign once again, and they can start building him up to whatever next big program they want to put him in. So for me, Archer all the way here to go over Joey Janela. Next, we'll talk about SCU in a 6-man tag team match against the Dark Order. Or is it? We've got, of course, the Dark Order members, Brody Lee, of course, the Exalted One. We've got Simon Grayson there. But Colt Cabana is going to be a part of this tag team match as well. Is he a part of the Dark Order? It's an interesting storyline going on here. I'm not sure it's a natural fit for Colt to be a part of the Dark Order, but I kind of want to see how it's going to play out as well. The Dark Order, for me, have been a stable that something is just not connected the whole way through for me. I've never really been a massive fan. Brody Lee coming in gathered some interest, but I still see a lot of jobbers in amongst this stable. And I suppose perhaps that's supposed to be the point of Dark Order, but I want to see some more, shall we say, stronger names in amongst this stable that are under this cult. that can follow the Dark Order, because at the moment I'm not buying into it, and I think that what they need is, rather than these numbered people that are going in masks that are getting defeated quite easily, or some of the the lesser ones that we never see on Dynamite, I want to see some more names that perhaps we can get behind, and Colt Cabana could arguably be one of them. So I liked what they did with Anna Jay as well. A female member of Dark Order could be interesting as well. But going into the match here anyway, and we'll talk about Dark Order another time, it is interesting how SCU and Dark Order have had quite a bit of long history. This is going back months, so it's good to see that here they're still connecting this together and making it a story and making how this match can work here for this free pay-per-view. For me, I'm going to go for the Dark Order to pick up the victory, because for me it makes the most sense. SCU don't need the victory here, although I'd like to see them have it. Colt Cabana here is, the story seems to be of him picking up a victory on Dynamite last week. For him to get sort of a victory in this match as well would make him seem to feel that he would be needed or wanting to be part of Dark Order even more. So for me, that would make most sense for that victory to go to the Dark Order. It would be interesting if Colt was to lose in this match, or if Grayson was to be the loser, and to see if maybe the Exalted One wants to start over. Maybe that would be a fantastic way that I'd actually be more invested in what they would do with the Dark Order going forward, if they were not pulling their weight, and the Exalted One wants these stronger members, and Colt could be one of them. I really like to see that actually as the storyline play out, but I'm going to stick with the Dark Order as my prediction. Let's talk Nyla Rose. She's going to be in action next, but her opponent is to be determined, confirmed. We're not sure at this point, but I'm assuming it's going to be a squash match. That's my feeling. We've had a Pineapple Pete. What about a Watermelon Wendy? Why not? Someone like that. If Chris Jericho could do some commentary in this, that would be quite glorious. But I expect it to be a squash match. I don't expect it to be anyone special. But I've seen it going around on Twitter. Tessa Blanchard no longer involved with AEW, with Impact Wrestling. Sorry, goodness. She's not even signed the dotted line yet if she's going to be a part of AEW. But wouldn't it be a statement of intent to have that match there? For me, 6 matches on a 2-hour show, I don't see it happening. I'd love to see a statement of intent, though. Someone like her to come in, maybe a Kelly Klein. I mean, it would really set the bar if they were to go and get talents like this who are free agents, because for me, it's the one division that needs a bit of strengthening. But they are actually doing the right things to address it. I love what they're doing with Britt Baker and Big Swole. They are trying to get some stories going in amongst the women's division, so I am a fan of that. But we're talking too much here with Nyla Rose here, with an undetermined opponent. I expect it to be a squash match, probably to make her look strong. I'd love a debut to come in at the end, but I just don't see it at this particular point. Next look at an 8-man tag team match. We've got the Young Bucks and FTR against Butcher, The Blade, and the Lucha Brothers. It's great to see the Lucha Brothers back in AEW. I'm going to start right there. Please book them strongly. They've not been booked strong enough in their AEW run for my liking. These guys are money. They're such a great tag team. But for me here, they're against what to be the newest boy band going, the Butcher and the Blade, with their new attire of recent weeks. It's going to be interesting to see as a dynamic, these four working together. It'll be even more interesting to see the Young Bucks and FTR. Clearly, the storyline is building to the Young Bucks versus FTR All Out later this year. So I'm going to say that the faces here, or tweeners, whatever you want, the Bucks and FTR are going to pick up the victory here. Hopefully, the Butcher or the Blade take the fall. And please put the Lucha Brothers in a meaningful, decent program after this, because I'm sick of seeing them losing on AEW. I just don't think they're being booked well. Not well enough, in my opinion. I loved when they had the tag team ladder match last year with the Young Bucks, and had such great chemistry at that point. I thought great things were in their future. I know that the pandemic's gone and they've been off our screens, but now that they're back, I didn't feel they were being booked so great before. Death Triangle was starting to get together. Please book them well now they're back. That's all I ask. But Young Bucks, FTR for me, picking up the victory. Next, we're going to talk about Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. I'm really looking forward to this match. Le Champion knows how to put something together, doesn't he? He's actually managed to criticise and point out all of Orange Cassidy's flaws, but yet make him look $1 million at the same time. And I expect the same thing to happen in this match. I mean, Orange Cassidy, not one known for most of putting this effort in, but we do love to enjoy watching him in his laziness, and I must admit, I find his character work individual and entertaining at the same time. Chris Jericho is just entertaining a life of his own always, so I expect that they're going to put something really fun to watch here together. But what I would say here is there has to be a glass ceiling for Orange Cassidy somewhere. A gimmick like his, unfortunately, isn't World Championship material and should not be beating the first ever AEW World Champion. It's real talk, but it's true. Chris Jericho must go over here with the Judas effect, but I expect, as I say, him to make Orange Cassidy look great in the process. I think that we are going to see some laziness putting together these false kicks. I'm expecting Jericho to really get angry about it, take advantage. I'm expecting Orange Cassidy to make the big comeback, but at the end, he's probably going to just feel a Judas effect, and Jericho is going to take or get the 1, 2, 3 and pick up the victory. But I'm really looking forward to this. I think that this will be a lot of fun, and I think this potentially could be a standout match over the two shows, just purely from the characters alone. They both stand out. Rather than having just, these great guys who can flip and do great technical wrestling, we've got two great characters here. For me, I've been looking forward to seeing this being put together for a while, and we're getting it here at Fyter Fest. So I hope that it's going to be as good as I'm anticipating. Last but not least, depending if this match can go ahead, Jon Moxley against Brian Cage, as you can see, and Brian Cage is with Taz, of course, and it's for the AEW World Championship. I'm recording this well in advance, but Jon Moxley was sent home, of course, not there, where Renee Young, of course, had caught the coronavirus. He's been around her. So if this match can go ahead, it will be very interesting indeed. But I will say that it's, for me, very soon for Cage to be in a championship picture. He's just turned up in AEW, but he won the Casino ladder match, so it's a position for him to be in a championship match. Taz is great by his side as well. It can cover up anything you want because Taz is so good on the mic. Cage is fine on the mic, to be fair. I've seen his previous work, but to see here we're having Taz there, this really makes this guy feel like a massive deal. And I would love them to just go for it and make Cage the champion, because for me, when we've seen it with the Exalted one with Brody Lee, coming very soon, had a championship match very soon, and then it goes disappearing down the middle of the card. Lance Archer, kind of the same thing. Do we want to do this with another monster that's coming in Cage? I really don't. I want Cage to pick up the victory. Moxley has been champion for a few months. You can always do a rematch as well at All Out. And of course, this is kind of a glorified Dynamite. You could always do a false finish here. So I'm hoping for that, and perhaps as the best result, because Moxley can keep the belt, they can redo the match at a later date, and perhaps put a gimmick towards it. My head says Moxley, my heart says Cage. I perhaps will leave it there, but perhaps I should go with my head as a prediction. Jon Moxley to retain, but as I was telling you, I want Cage to do it because I want to see him do well, and I want to see them, if they're going to bring these new big guys in, they need to go over and they need to do well. I think that they'll suffer if they don't. But that's all from anyway for you there on the predictions there for Fyter Fest. Hope you've enjoyed them. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check out this week's Q&A as well when it is uploaded. But thank you for watching. Enjoy Fyter Fest, of course, taking place on July the 1st and July the 8th. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time here on SCW. Have a great day.